I feel like I was calling so many shots in the past about what I thought was going to happen, and the only thing I could do was just point out what was happening and just watch everything crumble. So when skill-based matchmaking first dropped, everyone hated it. And then when Boon Totems dropped, everyone hated it. This was in September. Then hackers took this as an opportunity to try to run rampant in Dead by Daylight. I started getting held hostage almost every single game when I played Dead by Daylight. I waited out over 12, 14 hours of being held hostage in DBD, and it sucked. Eventually, I just started to send a lot of ban reports and made a lot of videos on cheaters. And BHVR was renowned for not really checking their tickets fast enough at the time. It took them about 2 weeks to check every single ticket. And just when I started posting a video, I posted a video called Hackers Are Holding Killers Hostage in Dead by Daylight. I had like 20 tickets of reports on hackers. Then all of a sudden, as soon as I posted that video of a pinhead screaming help in the thumbnail, all of a sudden my reports were getting resolved really fast, as a matter of fact. And almost every single report that I did, the hacker got banned. And it started getting to the point where sometimes the cheaters that I was reporting were getting banned in under 3 days or less than a week. It was no longer that 2-week period in order to get hackers banned. As time went on, I started becoming really angry with Dead by Daylight because skill-based matchmaking was really frustrating. I'd be getting competitive matches almost every single game. I started realizing that Boon Totems were really too strong. There'd be games where I'd get like killed 20 times in one match, 30 times in one match. So I made a video named Are Boons Healthy for Dead by Daylight in December 2021. And I talked about the idea that these Boon Totems were incentivizing killers to tunnel and camp way more. This was in December. And killers were camping and tunneling more. As you can see in the present day, this is eventually what happened. Eventually over time it got to me, and I was starting to get very angry at the devs because they weren't doing anything about it. I've stumbled upon a post that Peanuts wrote in January 8th, and I posted a video called BHVR Employee Explains Boon Totems. What I got from Peanuts' post is that they really don't want to fuck up. In the past, the community got really angry at them when they said they'd do something and they didn't do it. And what I got from Peanuts' post is that BHVR was scared of making changes. They were scared of their community. And so I made this video basically saying, hey, without good communication, everything falls apart and the relationship becomes toxic. And if you're feeling the repercussions of that, well, now's the time to take corrective action. And what BHVR was doing was they were leaving this Boon Totem change for a long time. And they were afraid of changing it because they were afraid of fucking up. And they weren't really talking about it. And so what I said is that this relationship that BHVR has with its community is toxic. I was trying to give BHVR a push to communicate more with this community, find out why people are angry, research, and then do something about it. Make a Twitter post, communicate, because no communication at all is way worse than saying, oh, we're going to work on this. Okay, we're going to check this out. I know they get a lot of flack because it's not like it's coming this month, it's coming next month, which is what people want. But even though people give them shit, they get stun locked and they're too afraid to say anything because of the extreme negative response. And I'm just like, you gotta talk. You gotta tell people, regardless if there's negative people or not. Otherwise, your game's gonna die. And from this point on, things started to change. They needed to communicate better. And then BHVR buffed Boil Over on January 27th, and I made a video named Did BHVR Bring Infinites Back to Dead by Daylight? And they did. There were parts of the maps in DBD where a survivor could run to it, and the killer would never be able to make it to a hook. And the survivor would always wiggle free. BHVR quickly made a post. They're going to be reworking Boil Over, and they realize this is an issue. And on February 3rd, I made the video called BHVR Removed Infinites from DBD. And they fixed the problem really fast. And this is the first time that I saw BHVR really quickly and actually communicated on Twitter that they're doing it. And they probably had one of their most liked tweets in the history of DBD. We're going to nerf Boil Over. We heard you. That was fast. I think this is around the time where they decided they wanted to add the kill switch so that in case there was something that was broken, they could kill switch something and make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. And I think this is probably the turning point for behavior. Every single day, I checked the Steam charts, and I made a video called "Why is the Dead by Daylight player count dropping?" For the past 4 months, behavior went from like 70,000 players to like 60,000 players, 50,000 players, 40,000 players, now to where we are today at 30,000 players. And I wanted to create a video where everyone could talk about Dead by Daylight's problems, so the developers could see this is what we need to fix. That video has over 2,900 comments on it, and there's a reason why I made it. It's because I wanted to collect all the opinions and what everyone thought was broken with the game. And the two things that everyone said consistently: the matchmaking rating system and Boon Totems. 2,900 people all saying vaguely the same stuff about Dead by Daylight, that those were the problems. And some time passed. Behavior released Onro, and I'm assuming that they believed that Onro would boost the player count past the negatives, but it really didn't. The player count kept falling. And this is around the time where Dowsy lost his Twitch shirts. And I reacted to his video. I feel like that was a really bad play by behavior to take away his Twitch shirts, because that gave them so much bad PR. But I covered it because I cover both the positive and the negative from them. And I created a video saying, I became a Legion main for a day, and now I know why they're getting a rework. And basically, through that video, I showed how M1 killers get fucked over by Boon Totems and the matchmaking rating system. And I want to tell the story about a person who just installed Dead by Daylight, is really excited about a killer, gets really in-depth with the lore, and that there's something really broken with the game that if they don't fix, everyone's just going to leave. And this is a big problem, and I need to show behavior because they hadn't done something for an entire month. Fast forward, and I posted a video called "Why Are Killers Camping and Tunneling More in Dead by Daylight?" This is a drive to point home from the point that I made in December, that Boon Totems will make people camp and tunnel more, along with the MMR system. Killers were stressed out. Games were too hard. So what are they going to do? They're going to camp and tunnel more. That's going to make games not fun for Killer. That's not going to make games not fun for Survivor. And that's exactly what happened. And usually I'm happy when I'm right about predictions, but this one I wasn't that happy about because something needed to change. It was actually killing their game. And here we are today in April 1st, where I made the video named "The Patch That Made Legion and Ghostface Mains Cry Tears of Joy." Behavior finally said that they were going to nerf Boon's Circle of Healing. And I think around this time, Behavior finally said that they're going to change MMR. But at this point, I finally feel like they're actually listening. It's something that we've been asking for like so long. The Boon term nerf, huge. The buff to Legion, the buff to Ghostface. Them saying that we're going to work on the MMR system. They finally started listening. And I'm really happy that they decided to do this. I feel like I was calling so many shots in the past about what I thought was going to happen. And the only thing I could do was just point out what was happening and just watch everything crumble. And here we are to April 22nd, where I posted a video, "Is it worth coming back to Dead by Daylight?" with the thumbnail, "We fixed everything, please come back." Behavior has put a fix to rework MMR. Your games are a lot less stressful. There's a lot more variety. And I hope this is a lesson to Behavior too, that they can't just ignore what people want. I think the first sign of them listening was when they reworked the boil over really fast because people were struggling. And then they nerfed the Boon Circle of Healing to 75% healing speed. And then they nerfed Boon Circle of Healing to 50% healing speed. And then they reworked Haddonfield. And then they reworked Legion. And then they reworked Ghostface. And then now they reworked the MMR system. They finally started fixing things that people were complaining about, that they things that were killing their game. And I want to say this as someone that has been stressed out from the past 6 months. Fucking finally. It's really good that you're listening to your community. It's really important that you keep listening to your community. You've had a lot of ups and downs in the past 6 months, and I could see your game making a bounce back if, you keep listening to the community and giving people what they want, especially after the previous ban wave of like over 500 something cheaters that you guys did, that they did as well. They're working on hackers and reworking the anti-cheat, and it's an in-due working process right now. That's probably the most important part when it comes to developing Dead by Daylight. People don't want a competitive game. People don't want to sweat. People don't want extremely balanced matches. People just want to have fun, and I hope you realize that. And I hope the game starts looking up from here on out. It's all about making sure the community has fun, that people are happy. That's the most important part. Don't forget that. Okay, these past 6 months, make sure that that wasn't for nothing. And hopefully they got something from this. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yo, see you guys in the next one.